Aha. I think the recording has finally started. Man, that took a long time. Alright. What do we want to do against this? Our opponent is Clench Les Cheeks. Is that French? Herbras Forge. No, thank you. We're going to syncopate that. We can't have an on-curve Herbras Forge. They can't generate mana there, can they? No, okay. We just need to make them pay one more and it gets exiled. They already got a creature out there. I think it's going to have to stay for a minute, because if they have a second Herbras Forge, we really need to be able to syncopate it. In the meantime, before I forget, I'm Travis, in case this is your first time here on the channel. The channel is called Tpull's Corner. And do we let that come down? Yeah, I think we do. Because I think we're going to flash in Mindsplice Apparatus. Let's see, incubate 3. Yeah, let's just go ahead and we'll flash in Mindsplice Apparatus. Alright, we can do that as an instant, we can do that as an instant. And we still have one counterspell for something more powerful. Bring it on! That one goes away. Sacrifice the creature. They could have given that to... Well, they tapped out to bring it down, so we didn't have to worry about that particular moment in time. But... Okay, so Black Sun's Twilight. Blah, blah, blah. If so, return a creature. We don't have a creature, so let's just put down Rona. And pass the turn. The heck? Orthian Hero of Lava Brink? Ugh. Well, it doesn't have haste itself. And they need 9 mana to generate 5 tokens that are copies of another creature. They don't have 9 yet. What do we want to do? I think we just want to block the incubator here. Get some all of these little things. And I think it's okay to go ahead and make them sacrifice something now. Non-token creature, please. They'll lose a life when I do that. Alright. And we pass. We kind of don't care about that right now. Come on. just do? We'll just do that. Ah, now that's good. How much mana can we spend here? We got 4 there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8. We do need some health back. Oh, I miscounted by 1 too. And do they have haste when they bring those back? No. So I can afford to attack too. Back up above 20. That's more like it. Oh, that's not more like it. That's disgusting. And I guess we go ahead and play that as regular land. But Shieldred has Menace. And I don't have 2 extra cards to discard. We don't have 8 in the graveyard, right? So in order to activate, she needs us to have 8 cards in the graveyard. We're just going to bring back somebody else. Which is dangerous for us. Let's see what we can get going here. Cosmic Epiphany! Yes. That means we draw 5 cards for only 2 mana. And what do we do with that? We could bring her back, but that's just going to create... They'll probably create a token of Shieldred. I really needed a way to remove Shieldred. Well, nah, I don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and get rid of those 2 lands. We'll just see how they do it here. Pass the turn. They don't have 9 mana yet. They're going to create a copy of the Bloated Processor. Let's try and knock out the original then. They should sacrifice this one, but they won't sacrifice 2 creatures, right? Or do they transform it already and sacrifice it again? Not too shabby. All the while powering up their vat. That's just another land. That is not useful. Alright, I guess we're passing. They can do the same trick again and take out the horror, but at least we also take out the processor. Oh no, wait, they have to, let's see, they can sacrifice that. They'd have to do it 2 more times to get us up to 8. So do you sacrifice Shieldred or Orpheon in order to do this? They don't. They're not willing to sacrifice it, so Hullbreaker stays around. They do get to incubate, and they can bring it out if they want. Okay. So we bring that down. And I think we just keep the other Hullbreaker Horror as a nice little surprise. Gross. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So can we just return this to their hand without that being on the stack? No, I should have brought my other Hullbreaker Horror up. So I messed that up. that did help power up the Vat of Rebirth. Okay. So now, what do we want to do? How many cards can we draw? Still do something. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So we can do. Let's do 7. Return non-land permanent to its owner's hand. We'll throw that up. Then we play a land. Then what do we got? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now we can do this. Till end of turn. Return something from the graveyard, which we can. I don't know if we want to return the. I don't know that we want to bother with that, but we do want to do 3. Because that lets us throw up the Vat, and then they can't do anything with that. And then, what do we got left? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's good. That's fine. We'll pass the turn. We'll get rid of the extra land. And we managed to do it right. Even though I kind of messed up on losing the original Hullbreaker Horror. The Fuseling. What do they got left? They need to bring down... No, we'll just do Devious Cover Up for that one. And what do we want back in our deck? We can take just any one of these things. Any of those are great. No, we don't need to bother with anything else there. I don't mind them having this. We don't want to give them the gift of completion back again to cast, because they could incubate again. We'll take action, get all that stuff back in. We didn't need another draw spell because we've still got Silver Scrutiny. Vat of Rebirth. Pay 7. They don't have 7. That's gone. That's 2 spells we've countered. What else are you going to do, right? But we had 3. And we didn't even need to use Hullbreaker Horror 3 times. So, kind of cool. And they don't hang around for the rest. It's been a while since I played a Mindsplice Apparatus deck, but we're back. and we're going to finish off that series. All right, let me catch up, everybody. I've always got to assume that this is somebody's first time here on the channel. So, here at Tpull's Corner, one of our favorite cards is Mindsplice Apparatus. So we have a playlist, and we started with other colors. We'd link Mindsplice Apparatus with green, so we did a blue-green deck, a blue-red deck, blue-white deck, and we did a mono-blue deck. And so now we're going with blue and black. Finishing off the color wheel. There's other stuff we can do. We can include 3 colors or more, and there are other possibilities as well. What I've been doing most of the time is having the same blue framework. In other words, we've got the star of the show, my favorite card, Mindsplice Apparatus. It's an artifact you flash it in, usually at the beginning of your opponent's end turn. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to put an oil counter on it. The instant and sorcery spells cast 1 less to cost for each oil counter on Mindsplice Apparatus. So for every additional oil counter it gets, the cheaper all of these other spells get. And so the natural thing to do is pile on all the X spells, which is what I've loved to do since X spells existed back at the beginning of the game 30 years ago. So we're doing that with all of the different colors. So if you're new and you're interested in Mindsplice Apparatus, we've got a Mindsplice Apparatus playlist. It's got those other 4 videos already there for you to peruse, and then we'll add this one to the list as well. And we're probably not done with this card. I'm having too much fun with this card, but we're doing all of the obvious X spells to start with. So let me go over the existing blue shell that we always use. We've got 1 Witness Protection. That will enchant a creature to lose all abilities, so we use that for things like Shieldred. We've got a March of the Swirling Mist, so that we can phase out any number of creatures. Our own if we want to save them, our opponents if we just don't want to get hit in the face. We've got 4 Syncopates, of course. So if we've got a Mindsplice Apparatus out and it's got 4 oil counters on it, and say we have 4 lands, we can Syncopate for 7. And so that's kind of cool. It kind of, as long as we get a Mindsplice Apparatus out and it starts building things up, the Syncopates are going to be good. Whereas in a normal deck, later on in the game, your enemy might have more mana available than you do. So Syncopates often have a limited lifespan. Usually not in this deck. We have 1 copy of Blue Sun's Twilight. Gain control of target creature with mana value X or less, and if X is 5 or more, create a token that's a copy of that creature. So as long as it's not legendary, we could spend 5 or more, take care of it, and we'd end up with 2 copies of whatever we want to keep. And that's pretty cool. Another X spell, 2 copies of Silver Scrutiny. We can just cast it during our opponent's turn and draw 3, but as you saw there, I kind of needed help because they were starting to overpower me. So with the Mindsplice Apparatus up, we can draw a lot more and then still have things left over to be able to spend mana on. And we have 1 copy of Devious Cover-Up. Because we use so many counterspells, it's kind of cool to go ahead and have at least 1 of these because we can get 4 target cards from our graveyard into our library. That's awesome. Besides the 2 Silver Scrutinies, we have 1 Cosmic Epiphany. This is the only thing that's not an X spell, right? Cosmic Epiphany, draw cards equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Since we're playing a Mindsplice Apparatus deck, and it makes all of our instants and sorceries cheaper, most of what we have built into our deck is instants and sorceries. So we're going to draw a lot by the time we have enough mana to pay for that card. We've got 1 more control spell that's not an X spell, Invoke the Winds, gain control of target artifact or creature. And we've got 1 more X spell for drawing, Transcendent Message. We don't worry about the Convoke so much. You can use Convoke if we've got creatures out and tap them to make it cheaper, but usually we're just relying on the Mindsplice Apparatus to form the X. We just need the 4 blue sources of mana. And we have Hurkyl's Final Meditation. This is a nice spell when you do finally get enough. You can cast it on your opponent's turn, but it costs 3 more, so you're looking at 10 mana. If you get enough Mindsplice Apparatus out, you can still end up casting this for just 3. What you can do is if your opponent's casting something during your turn, you can cast it during your turn. It exiles everything on the stack, so it basically works as a counterspell, but it ends your turn right then. If we want to wait for the opponent's turn, same thing. We could wait till they cast a spell, choose that moment to sort of counterspell it with Hurkyl's Final Meditation, but it also ends their turn right then. For the rest, let's see, we've got the apparatus, of course, And then we've got our 2 Hullbreaker Horrors, which forms a lot of our creatures, right? But since we're doing black this time, I brought in a copy of Rona, Sheoldred's Faithful. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 1 life, and we can get her back from the graveyard by discarding 2 cards from our hand. And of course, because we get so much potential for card draw in here, we do have ways to get her back. Eventually, we can draw enough that we just discard the extra land cards, usually. We've also got 1 copy of Hidetsugo and Carry, legendary Ogre Demon Dragon, 5/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards, then you put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. So if we've got too much land, maybe we just toss those aside, put them on top of the deck. Or maybe if we've got a really powerful spell, and we expect this legendary creature to die, we can put the top card on there, let our opponent kill our creature, and then the target opponent loses life equal to the mana value of that top card because it's exiled. And if it's an instant or sorcery card, which most of our cards are, you can cast it without paying its mana cost. So most of the time, what most players want to do is they want to find a really powerful spell and put it on the top and see if their opponent will kill their creature or not. If they kill the creature, then they get to cast that same spell for free and it deals points of damage. And if not, they just get it next turn. And if we can afford Hidetsugo and Carry, guess what? We can probably afford to cast any other spell that we're going to draw next anyway. Okay, so what else do we have? Besides the black and blue spells, we have blue spells. We have 1 Ashnod's Intervention. This will actually save Hidetsugo and Carry or Rona or the 2 Hullbreaker Horrors and put them back in our hand. We've got 3 X spells with Black Sun's Twilight. Up to 1 target creature gets -X until end of turn. And if X is 5 or more, you get to return a creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard. So if I lose a Hullbreaker Horror and I can afford to spend 8 mana, maybe, we got a little help from Mindsplice Apparatus, we could actually bring back our Hullbreaker Horror, just using the instant. The other X spell that black has right now, March of Wretched Sorrow from Kamigawa, we can actually pump this even more by exiling black cards from our hand and make it cost 2 less. But again, we're mostly just relying on having Mindsplice Apparatus out. It deals X damage to target creature and planeswalker, and you gain X life. That's a good way to get our life gain back. So this is mostly our life gain right here. We've got 1 copy of Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever they draw a card, they lose 2 life. And of course, since we have those 4 draw card spells, if we ever get in trouble and we have Sheoldred out and we get a draw card spell, we're pretty much guaranteed to go back up to 20 or higher. We've got 4 copies of Sheoldred's Edict for removal. If the March of Wretched Sorrows aren't enough and Black Sun's Twilight is not enough, so that's like 11 cards for removal right there. Plus we have 1 copy of the Cruelty of Gix in case they're going wide with a bunch of 1/1s and 2/2s. Or actually, no, I was thinking of Gix's Command. I don't have Gix's Command here. Sorry. Cruelty of Gix just lets us discard a card from them. Then we can go search for a specific card and get a creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield. So I don't have that kind of board wipe in this deck. Maybe I should. The final card I have is to combo with Sheoldred if it happens. So this is, now I remember my logic. I had Sheoldred. I used Cruelty of Gix, probably read ahead to the 2nd chapter to go look for a specific card. Then I go get Cut of the Prophets. It's an X card. You draw X cards and you lose X life. But if we've got Sheoldred down, every time we draw a card, we are losing, or we're gaining 2 life. So it's a net gain of 1 life point for every single card that we draw. I think the problem is if I'm down to like 5 health points, I can only draw 4 cards because before the life gain of Sheoldred kicks in, you got to pay the cost first. So you do have to be wary of that and don't draw too much at the beginning. But if we do have Sheoldred down and we need some card draw and we want some life gain, this is a good way to get both. And that gives us 61 cards, but I included this one because it gave us it's a 5th card draw type of thing. In the meantime, for specialty lands, we got Otawara, we got 1 Surgical Bay, 1 Dross Pits, 1 Takenuma to get a creature back if we ever got stuff in the graveyard, 2 Waterfront Districts we can sacrifice to also draw cards, and 1 Field or Room. That is the deck. The blue shell is almost exactly the same as the other decks. Why? Because we ransacked all of Arena for the X spells that we had available and the current copies that we have. And if you're new, I'm still under a semi-ban. It's self-imposed. I don't necessarily burn wild cards to get the copies of cards that I don't have. I've got one copy of Shieldred, so I'm sticking with that. There are sometimes every now and then, like if I have a theme deck, I did a Stonebrain deck not too long ago, and I only had 3 Stonebrains, so I went ahead and burned a wild card to get the 4th Stonebrain, because I was so close to having the complete collection of the 4, and I didn't want to wait to show y'all that particular deck. That was a fun deck. So I've after the first couple of years of doing this, I have broken the rule on not using any wild cards to craft cards, but I'm not necessarily just going hog wild with it. I'm only doing it sparingly. And this is going to be a burn deck, and can we even get on the board before they kill us? Maybe not. The good news is they usually don't have a ton of land, so we might be good on our syncopate, depending on what they want to put out here. Sometimes they just put out 1 mana spells. Yeah, they're beating us on land already. They're beating us on everything. We still don't have enough land. They got to go first. They got more land. They got all their cheap stuff out. So close to dying. They probably have a lightning bolt. They're thinking, do I want to throw this at my opponent's head? I shouldn't auto-pass. They might want to zap me at the very end. They do not. Rabbit battery, we're going to let that come down. And do we kill something? I think we try and kill something. Submit 0. We'll just take out Etching of Kumano if we can, unless they have some sort of protection spell. They could bump it up with power and toughness. They've been playing very slow and conservative. They've been saving a lot of stuff. And we have 2 syncopates. And we weren't able to cast anything even if we wanted to. But we finally have enough to do what we want, right? If they won't buff anything, or do direct damage to our face. Alright, here's a 5/4. But we had to tap out to do it. So if they want to throw a lightning bolt at our face, they can. And this is just a case of they got to go first, they got all the stuff. But we're going to put Cruelty of Gix probably. 2 cards in the library. We'll put that in the library, and since we're tapped out, we'll put that in the library. We'll put that one on top. No, wait, the first card will become the top card, right? Oh. Okay. So the card on the right is considered the top card? That's okay. That's alright. Can they kill us now, or will they just zap us in the face and try and put down a 3rd creature next turn? So many options and only 3 lands is all they've done. Okay, there's Reinforced Ronins. I guess we do that. They'll probably just pump up the other one. Not there, there we go. They had it. It's tough to get around. I mean, if Mono Red gets to go first, come on. I've got a deck that's almost exactly like this. I use it for ranked battles. It does very well. So I guess we were supposed to use Black Sun's Twilight. I'm not sure we ever had any single chance of doing that. So that's what happens a lot. When you win with this deck, they just throw mono red aggro against you. And make sure that they go first. But then it's very rare for me to go first. My opponent goes first approximately 2/3 of the time, so it's definitely not a 50-50 split. I'm not sure why Arena has singled me out as one of the people that hardly ever gets to go first, but I know I'm not alone. I know there are certain people that play, and they just don't get to go first that much. That means that other people do somehow manage to get to go first more than half the time. The nice thing for me is nobody can call me a liar because I post my games and I don't edit. I just hit the record button, and even if it takes a while to load my next opponent, you guys can see it. So you know I'm not editing out anything. I can just syncopate that, right? I mean, they're still happy, right? Because it gets rid of a counterspell. And I can't really do anything to counter something, but I could force them to make the choice, find out if they've got another discard spell or not. We'll take another island because we've got another black mana source. They should take a, yeah, they should take a swamp if they're discard heavy. Mill 3 cards. What did we lose? Okay, and what do I want to get rid of? I guess Ashnod's Intervention. What did they lose? Just 2 swamps and a Gix's Canal. They didn't seem to lose much. Alright, we're done with that. A Jace.
The weak-minded will be educated in Phyrexia's ways.
And they just want to mill us.
Your victory is an illusion. All your hopes and dreams were for nothing.
That's half my deck gone. And they have another one handy, so I guess I'm just flashing this in while I can.
For the sake
I'm going to take care of half of my deck again.
I will keep watch.
And I kind of need a counterspell.
I pull one.
But what did we all lose here?
And your entire mind.
The Hullbreaker
unravels.
Horrors are gone. There's 1 Syncopate, 2 Syncopate, 3 Syncopate. What am I supposed to do? Draw more cards? I mean, I can, but they don't have any creatures for me here, so they threw a creatureless deck against me. I guess we go ahead and just draw 3 cards. Because if they get a 3rd Jace down, you know, we're just gone anyway. Alright, if they do put down any kind of creature to go after this battle, we'll be okay. Virus Beetle. Okay. Let's get rid of... I think we get rid of Sheoldred's Edict. Ooh, look at that. We'll stop on our upkeep. My turn. And let's do this for, how much can we do? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6. Yeah, we'll just get 6 life. And we'll keep that one as, in case they have another discard. I've got enough land and mana now. If they've got another... Oh, hello. Well, that was fun. Let's see if this works. I want that creature. Auto pay. Oh, we got 2 of them now. I'll just keep that still. And the turn. What are you gonna do against 2 Hullbreaker Hordes? We're gonna get rid of one of them. Okay. You can't get rid of the non-token, right? Let's see. We can bring something back. How about we bring back just 7. We're going to target you, auto pay. We don't need to bring anything else back. But we do want to bring back our own Hullbreaker Horde. And we can attack with the one we got. I'm not afraid of a 1/1 for anything. Oh, and they just give up. Look at all that they tried. 2 Jaces and they milled us right away. Mythic rare, mythic rare, mythic rare Shieldrids. Got us down. They only had 9 left. Maybe I was going to forget and just draw my... I could mill myself out with that, right? No, we did it. We pulled it out. For a second, I was afraid they might have gone creatureless and only have mill cards. That might have done better for them. I don't know how many people are playing Mindsplice Apparatus decks. It was sort of the flavor of a month for a while. I sort of went away from that for a month because we had Evergreen Month, and so I had an agenda for the month of June that I do every year. Okay, hey, is that the second time in a row I got to go first? This is like a record. Already. I may get 50% draw tonight of getting to go first. Alright, if they spend all their mana, we can make good on the syncopates. I just don't want to miss a land drop. We will get rid of that thing now. Oh, it's my go. We've got somebody who's very impatient. And I missed a land drop. And so we're in trouble. We will syncopate that too. And that's all we can do without more land. Yeah, we're pretty much dead in the water. Thanks a lot, Arena. So this is what happens when you win 2 in a row. Oh, sure, you can go first, but we're not going to give you any land. Yeah, even Silver Scrutiny is worthless. I can draw 0 cards with it. Yeah, the most powerful cards in my entire deck and no land for three in a row. Usually I just quit when I get to this point. I mean, when it's turn 4 and Arena hasn't dealt you a single land yet, you kind of know the fix is in. Like, we won 2, right? Granted, they gave us mono red aggro to put us in our place already as well, but we won 2 with this deck. They're not going to do much more with us here. It's going to be pretty bad. And they got their combo down. Even though I got rid of 1 Gala Greeters, the combo is Gala Greeters generating tokens and Ginny Fae coming down so that they generate these things instead of the treasures. So even though I foiled them at the very start, they still got their combo down in record speed. So just utterly worthless. Yes, give me 4 lands for the entire game, but my hand is still filled 7, 7, 6, 5. I can put in an apparatus. Thanks, Arena. Really, really coincidental timing that you did it just then. And gave my opponent a golden start on their combo. Every day with this game. They fixed things a little too much. And I found out how bad it was. I really found out how bad it was during the early access event for Lord of the Rings, because there's a limited number of people on the server. So I would make a deck, and as we got into the evening, there were fewer and fewer people online for me to face. And soon there was only 1 opponent that I could face. And I thought, there's only 1 other person besides me playing Magic left. I was thinking about quitting, so I switched to a different deck. And lo and behold, I was faced with somebody else. I never faced that first opponent again. What do you want? A big threat to this deck is discard, so Arena is still continuing. Look, mono red aggro, green white beautiful curveball mono starving me, and then discard again, discard. So yeah, Arena's really having it in for me tonight. They can turn that into a 2 whenever they want. Can we stop it with March of the Swirling Mist? Can we stop them from doing what they want to do? I don't think we can. I might want to try just to... I mean, I'm up against discard. Let me end the turn. They didn't spend the mana on that. They see what I've got. Pass. 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 Go ahead and turn to 2. They're playing around it. I don't think we're going to have the chance. End the turn. Okay, so now they can make it a 3/3. Pass. Pass. Pass to damage. I need more land. I can't even cast my counterspell yet. My turn, they're not doing anything. Okay, so there it goes. It's tapped. Shoot. Razor Lash. Alright. Submit 0, do 2 damage, auto pay. See if they've got a 1 mana protection spell for it. They do not. Razor Lash comes out. Alright. You need 6 mana to bring that puppy out. Pass the turn. If they're smart, they'll attack first. We're taking it. What else you want to do? Duress. No. Counter that. We'll put both of these back in our deck. That was a very cheap spell to spend 4 mana on. They've just got another one. They prefer to incubate out of everything. Okay. This is cheap because I control 4 more basic, non-basic lands, so they can just bring it back anytime they want, right? So I guess I'm passing again. It'd be better for me to take out the incubator. I need a specific card to deal with this one. We're taking 3 more. Shieldred. Mindsplice Apparatus comes out, and then we stop on the upkeep. Resolve that part, but before the draw, this gives us 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 or more. I don't have anything in the graveyard, right? So we just want to get 5 of our health back. Submit 0, hit them for 5, get rid of Shieldred, gain 5 life. Then we draw a card. And if they have another one, we still have Black Sun's Twilight. Now is a good time for them to use the incubate while we're tapped out. Or they can just hit us. What else you got? Blood Pact. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Okay, so they're restocking. They can certainly afford to. We need the land. We just passed the turn. All of these things are instants, so whatever they want to do, we don't care. Phase you out real quick. A Blood Pact. Do we want them to do the Blood Pact? Kind of not. That does leave them with 3 mana, so if they got something else cheap. No? Okay. How many can we draw? 5? Autopay. I like all of that. Here's where they hit me for 6. I'm tapped out again. Ouch! How much do we want to do this for? How about 9? Submit 0. Let's get 9 life points back. That felt good. Pass the turn. I don't care what they do to me next. It's not enough to kill me in 1 turn. Hit me for 3. Very good. That's all you know how to do. You know what we know how to do? We know how to draw 6 extra cards. Woohoo! Let's go! That's what I'm talking about. Alright. They've got to have removal, right? Let's bring down Rona. If they have removal, we can syncopate it. 8, 5, 6, 7. So anything that costs 2 mana or more, we can syncopate. Oh, are they going to try it now? You're going to try it now? You're going to lose a life because of that. Are you prepared to lose life? They've got another one. That's okay. It's alright. Good for him. I'm tapped out again. I do have to discard one card. What do I want to get rid of? I have such good stuff here. Let's get rid of Sheoldred's Edict. Everything else is an X spell. Take 5 points. Nobody cares. Field of Runes. Oh, so sorry to hear about your land. Am I getting salty? It's because you keep hitting me. With the same creature. Over and over again. You and your mindless zombies. Alright, next. I'm going to gain control of that. It's mine now. Oh, did they do this to me earlier? Ha-ha! Destroy your own creature? Aww. That's too bad. I've had enough fun. I'm done. We'll let them have a turn. Go straight to the battlefield, right? Yep, but it doesn't have haste. It does get an extra counter. Oh, they brought it back last turn. Okay. What can we do? Do I have some? I do have something in the graveyard. So I can do this for 5 or more. Rona's back! Did you miss her? My turn. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so we're going to have them reveal their hand, just for grins and giggles. Show me what you got. I've got a turn to kill. You've got a land. Okay. No attacks. We don't need to attack. Time is on our side now. This is the definition of a control deck. There is almost nothing left that they can possibly do to us. We're going to flash in the next Mindsplice Apparatus. What can you do? They didn't even bring back the Transmogrant. They didn't even bother. Now we've got more money to do whatever we want than we ever could have hoped for. We're going to get a specific card. Come on. We're going to go get Sheoldred just because I want to do the combo. Sheoldred's here. We are going to draw 4. They lose a life because we're casting an instant. We go down to 1, and we draw 4 cards. Oh, we went from 5 to 9. And I think I can afford to attack now. This is usually when they scoop. Because we've got a syncopate. In the turn. Lose 2 life. You can't attack with that, but it can't block, right? So, yeah, they're done. That was nice. When somebody starts saying your go on like the first or second turn, I enjoy demolishing them. And you've already seen us get our hats handed to us, so it's not like this deck is invincible. I'm not even sure I would take this into ranked, although I'm tempted. I've seen, the one that I've seen in ranked, I saw a YouTube video of one that had white, black, and blue. And that seemed to be more control-ish even. I'm just playing for fun. And we didn't have any blue? I do have 2 removals. I know I'm supposed to mulligan. I know it. I know I'm supposed to. Ugh. I just want to see what happens. Okay. Alright, we'll do what Arena wants us to. We don't have any creatures yet, so that becomes superfluous. Opponent's back to going first. It's fine. It's fine. We still only have 1 blue, so we can't do anything with Devious Cover-Up. And this could just be the quick green-white Selesnya again. Slightly different. Let's just let them think that maybe we are mono black for starters. Get rid of you. That gets rid of the counter plus the draw spells. Okay, do you have something to do? They might have a protection spell. I kind of don't have anything else to do but this. I mean, if they've got a protection spell, Rona's not going to help by exiling that. They've probably got an indestructible kind of counter. Of course, see? Indestructible and hexproof. Exactly what they needed to foil the only thing that I had. Yeah, they kind of made sure of everything, didn't they? I guess we're passing. This is whenever you cast a spell, so even if I counter it, they still get, the Beast Caller still gets a counter. Vorinclex. Yeah, Vorinclex has to be countered. I guess we go ahead and just bring those back. I'm still up to 6, and I'm running out of ammo here. I mean, I can bring down Rona, but if they have one more creature, they got me. Or do you have removal? And me with no counter spells. Takenuma doesn't work this early on for milling and returning a creature or planeswalker because I have so few creatures. So it's almost always going to be used. And they have the land. See, they got me. They had exactly what they need. What surprise, Magic. I win a game, and then they get exactly what they need to do everything that they want. And what can I do here? I can lose more life. How many cards should I draw? Here, we'll draw 3. There, are you happy? There was nothing there. I'd say good game, but you had everything you needed. They had exactly the right mix. They had the one protection they needed. No, you manufactured that. That wasn't fair. Every time that I win, it takes me a really long time. These are really long, drawn-out matches. And then when you decide it's time to lose, it's, oh, Selesnya, perfect hand. Selesnya, perfect hand. Mono-red aggro that knocks me out with only 3 lands for their entire match. And then when you have a fair match, then it's like, oh, it took me like 20 turns to win. Now, granted, this is my kind of deck because the Mindsplice Apparatus builds up over time, and this is kind of geared for things to go for the longer term. And I I don't like having 4-turn magic rounds. That's why I only bring out the mono red aggro when I go into ranked to beat the reset time to make sure I get my 15 wins. Most of the time I'm playing decks like this where it takes us a while, right? I like to savor my cards. I like to get long enough matches that I can use the combos, that I can get out what I want. We still didn't quite get to Hidetsugu and Carry, but I only have one copy in this particular deck. I'm going to do a different deck with Hidetsugu and Carry. There might be some familiar cards from in here too. You know, I can't promise I won't reuse some of these cards, but I'm going to hold on to this deck and keep playing until I get to use this combo within this framework. So with that, I think we're going to leave it there for the night. Go ahead and leave comments about what you would do differently for a black-blue Mindsplice Apparatus deck. Holler out if this is also one of your favorite cards out of, you know, everything that they did in the Phyrexian expansion. I love it better than any other, you know, toxic card that they've made. So that was kind of cool. It was like they had a mind reader. It's like, hey, what would Travis like? Let's design that card. So yeah, that's it. That's my card. And then there will be other decks in this theme before. Let me know if you want to see something in particular up front sooner. And remember to like and subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.